The scene opens with a young office worker, a bewildered expression on his face, as he hears a sentence from his team leader. "I'm sorry, Eunho," the team leader, with his thinning hair, explains, "it's not that we dislike you or anything. You know how the economy is these days." He trails off, becoming increasingly awkward, forcing a smile. "Of course, we'd love to keep working with you. We know how hard you've worked these past 2 years." What am I saying? Not wanting to keep his leader waiting, Lee Eunho speaks up. "Yes, I understand. And my name is Lee Eunho." He looks seriously at his computer screen, assuring his team leader, "I will finish my remaining tasks here properly. Today, I've been laid off." 2 years ago, he joined the company as a contract worker. The contract was for 2 years, during which he tried his best. When colleagues would ask, "Hey, Eunho, can you help me with this?" he always responded enthusiastically, "Of course, what do you need?" He had worked incredibly hard, no matter how difficult the task. Lee Eunho had persevered to become a full-time employee. A colleague would instruct, "If you check the computer, you'll find our previous month's payment report." Eunho would focus intently on learning new things. "Understood? No problem." But the result was, MS Group, Strategic Planning Department, Lee Eunho. As you can see, now his team leader is trying to soften the blow after delivering his termination notice. "It's not because you were lacking in any way. It seems the transition to full-time employment wasn't successful, right?" He fumbles for an explanation. "Well, it's restructuring. They call it restructuring. Since it's a company decision, I hope you don't take it personally." Eunho doesn't look at his team leader's face, his expression unchanged. "Of course not. I'm not upset with you, team leader." 3, 2, 1. Suddenly, the team leader places his hand on the desk divider and exclaims, "I knew it." He gives a thumbs up, smiling broadly. "That's the spirit. I like you being so strong, Eunho." His words leave Eunho speechless. "I knew this was going to happen. They feel a little awkward for letting me go, but they're always like that." The balding team leader chuckles and waves his hand. "You'll do well wherever you go." Well, he continues rambling. "Even if your body is a little, well, you're still young and full of potential." Even though Eunho doesn't reply, he keeps talking, fueled by the concern and unease of the surrounding co-workers. "You've been working hard all this time." Finally, the team leader proposes, "All right, let's go for lunch to cheer you up, Eunho." He still doesn't respond. The team leader asks again, "How about crab blood soup?" But now, only the words "a little" echo in Eunho's mind. A colleague hesitantly speaks up, Team leader, that place is about a 10-minute walk." The team leader doesn't get it and asks, "Huh? Everyone will think the same way." At this point, the same colleague says, "Don't you think it's a bit inconvenient for Eunho? Because As everyone discusses, Eunho pushes himself up and says, "I'll eat separately. Enjoy your meal." He clutches his pants, unable to walk 10 minutes for lunch. His coworkers look at him with concern. "Are you really okay, Eunho?" As he hugs his leg to walk, he responds, "Yes, I'm fine. Actually, I have another appointment." The cripple, Lee Eunho. And, of course, he has no appointment. Eunho eats lunch alone on the crowded rooftop, thinking, "Since I'm leaving anyway, I don't need to eat while being considerate of others." With that thought, he leisurely takes a sip of his coffee. After finishing, he gazes up at the sky, as if contemplating something. "But, maybe I'll miss this place a little," he wonders, looking at the rooftop scenery. At his feet is a withered tree, signifying the end of life. "I was once very fast and free. The most promising prospect in Korean track and field. That was me. But that didn't last long. A minor car accident before the practical exam. That turned me into someone everyone understands. I still want to. Even just once would be enough. I want to run until my heart feels like it's going to burst. But," he thought numbly, "unless I can live again." Just as Eunho is lost in thought, a beautiful woman named Kim Ji-yoon appears. "What are you thinking about so deeply?" Eunho is startled and greets her. "Oh, Ji-yoon, when did you get here?" Ji-yoon replies, "I just got here." This person is Kim Ji-yoon, a contract worker who started as a secretary a week after him. Ji-yoon asks again, "What were you thinking about?" Eunho hesitates. He looks up at the sky and tells her, "I was wondering where I'll work next." Ji-yoon laughs, waving her hand. "What are you talking about? Are you about to get fired? Why are you thinking about that?" Unexpectedly, Eunho isn't joking. He calmly replies, "That's right." This answer freezes Ji-yoon. Eunho takes another sip of his coffee and says, "Actually, I got fired today. Or should I say, restructured." The more Eunho talks, the more Ji-yoon seems to turn to stone and crack. Eunho continues with the same tone, as if he's telling a normal, insignificant story. "Anyway, that's how it is." It's at this point he notices Ji-yoon next to him. She's looking at him with sympathy and sadness. She looks down and says, "I'm so sorry." Eunho is confused. Why? Ji-yoon honestly says, I didn't know. Now Eunho is the one consoling her. It's okay. It's not your fault, Ji-yoon. Ji-yoon asks, when will you quit? Eunho is unsure. I think they'll call me separately to tell me later. Suddenly, a mechanical voice echoes in Eunho's head. Leave. The decision of this planet has been made. Ji-yoon hears this announcement as well. Eunho, confused, asks, announcement? She replies, it's more like an echo in my head than an announcement. The mechanical voice speaks again. The mission will begin shortly. Eunho is puzzled. You heard that too, right, Ji-yoon? Ji-yoon looks around as if searching for the source of the sound. Yes, I heard it too. Both of them look around, and everyone starts to murmur. What was that? I don't have headphones on. The building manager's announcement? What were they saying? Ji-yoon concludes, it seems like everyone heard that sound. The announcement appears once more. We are announcing it again. This planet has been sold. Eunho is shocked. What? The announcement continues, therefore, restructuring will be implemented. Eunho contemplates. This is absurd. Just then, Manager Choi appears. Hey, Ji-yoon. Ji-yoon, hearing the call, turns around. Ah, Manager Choi. This is undoubtedly the powerful Manager Choi from Ji-yoon's department, her colleague. Manager Choi frowns. What are you still doing here? How much time is left for lunch break? The announcement still echoes. The mission will begin shortly. Ji-yoon, distracted by it, hesitates. But the announcement, Manager Choi dismisses it. Oh my god, are you bothered by that nonsense? He berates her. With that attitude, do you think you'll become a full-time employee? Hurry up if you don't want to be late. This hits a nerve for Eunho, who freezes in place. Eunho suddenly interrupts Manager Choi's words. It's still okay now. Manager Choi raises an eyebrow. Confused? What? Not intimidated by his authority, Eunho explains, there are still 15 minutes left for lunch break. Going down won't take much time, so if we stay a little longer, we won't be late. It's only now that Manager Choi notices him. You're that trainee from the next department. That's you, right? Looking at his disabled leg, Manager Choi speaks bluntly. You cripple. Seeing this, Ji-yoon tries to mediate. Manager, please. But Manager Choi doesn't care. He continues to provoke. I heard you got fired this time. TSK TSK. It was inevitable. Ji-yoon is startled and looks at Eunho to see if he's alright. Manager Choi continues to make cutting remarks. If you have shortcomings, you should live more diligently. This time, Eunho remains silent, not responding. His expression is blank, as if Manager Choi's words have no effect on him. Just then, the announcement sounds again. The first mission begins. Eunho suddenly opens his eyes wide in shock. A green beam of light appears in the middle of the rooftop. A mechanical voice announces, please enter the designated area within the time limit. All individuals who fail to do so will be subject to restructuring. The beam acts like a net with a limited area, and some people are already inside. A countdown begins with 1 minute left. Commencing countdown. Manager Choi observes the area and says, I wonder what they're planning, but it looks quite impressive. Ji-yoon's colleague calmly surmises, it seems like a gaming event organized by a company in the building. Manager Choi says, I told you, nowadays there's a lot of crazy stuff like that. He shows a lack of interest while telling his subordinates, let's go down. While Eunho is still thinking about it, a gaming event? It feels different, a suspicious feeling growing inside him. Manager Choi and Ji-yoon's colleague pass him by, and Manager Choi speaks up, oh my, oh dear, in a way that confuses both Eunho and Ji-yoon. He pats his right thigh and pretends to ask, should I go see an orthopedist? Ji-yoon's colleague snickers, why don't you try physical therapy? Seeing this, Ji-yoon is flustered and worried about Eunho's feelings, but he is just idly thinking, is he imitating me? He imitates like a monkey. Ji-yoon notices him not saying anything and quickly calls, Eunho. Eunho turns, yes? Ji-yoon bows, I'm so sorry. It's all because of me. Eunho says calmly, it's okay, I'm used to this. Ji-yoon doesn't know how to respond and forces a laugh, haha, it doesn't look okay at all. As the people around them panic about the giant net, Ji-yoon asks Eunho, so, what should we do now? Eunho replies, well, if that's the case, let's at least go see what's happening. At this time, the countdown has 10 seconds left. 9 seconds. The two of them gradually approach the net. Ji-yoon says in awe, I don't know what this is, but it's well done. Is this a hologram? Eunho, unsure, replies, I'm not sure, I've never seen anything like this before. Time left, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Ji-yoon asks, Eunho, if you quit, what do you plan on doing? Eunho laughs, that's a good question. I guess I'll go hunting again. 6 seconds, 5 seconds left. Ji-yoon's colleague turns the door handle upon at 4 seconds. He panics, huh? The door won't open. Manager Choi, upon hearing this, tilts his head, puzzled. What? What do you mean? Suddenly, 2 seconds left. 1 second left. At this moment, Ji-yoon and Eunho step inside the designated area as well. Eunho steps inside at the same time as the clock hits 0. A loud noise erupts. Eunho opens his eyes wide, his face pale. He quickly turns to look around. A perplexed expression comes over him. In his mind, Eunho wonders, what was that feeling? Ji-yoon notices his behavior and calls out to him, Eunho? At this moment, the people outside suddenly feel a tremor. It's as if an invisible force is pressing down on them. Everyone asks each other in confusion, what is it? What the hell is going on? The people inside the safe zone begin to discuss among themselves, what's happening? What's wrong with them? The mechanical voice echoes again, time is up. Suddenly, Eunho senses something. The notification turns red, like a warning, commencing restructuring of the human resources. Instantly, those outside the designated area are hit by an unknown force, Manager Choi and Ji-yoon's colleague included. They are torn into pieces. They scream in agony. Before disappearing completely, they let out one loud scream that reverberated through the area. Ji-yoon is horrified by this, covering her mouth with a trembling hand. Eunho! What is this? Eunho is just as confused. Yes, his eyes widen. Those outside of the area are being torn apart and disappearing. A notification appears, first mission complete. MS Tower, 184 individuals have been restructured. That day, everything we knew crumbled. The announcement continues, survivors, 1,796. Then, a table appears before Eunho. System display, please choose a mission reward. Eunho thinks in shock, this is... Before him appears his own status. Name, Lee Eunho, affiliation, District 13, Rokseo, Zone 107, MS Tower, rank, restructuring target, stats, health, 12, strength, 11, intelligence, 10, judgment, 15, agility, 1, vitality, 31, traits, unlocked, skills, unlocked. Eunho wonders, a status window, health, strength, all of my physical information, it's all quantified. I choose a reward from this? With this thought, Eunho raises his hand. He hesitantly touches the leg area in the drawing. Can I choose the leg? The system announces, starting mission reward distribution. Immediately, a force acts on his disabled leg. Eunho is surprised by the sensation in his leg. The system informs him, reward distribution successful. 20% recovery of gait. He is shocked. What? Recovery? At this moment, Ji-yoon beside him points at the table in front of him. Eunho, you see it too, right? Eunho responds, yes, thank goodness, at least I'm not the only one who sees it. Ji-yoon, bewildered, says, what the heck is going on? On Earth or what? Eunho feels the same. I'm not sure but, he said. It said that was the first mission. There might be other missions to come. And it seems like if we fail, we would disappear like those people. Ji-yoon becomes even more scared. She stutters, who is behind all of this? Eunho says uncertainly, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll soon get a new message. The system is quick to display a new announcement. The second mission will begin soon. Eunho frowns, just as I thought. The safe zone will be randomly regenerated after the mission begins. Beginning countdown. A clock starts counting down from 5 minutes. In front of everyone, their own status windows appear. Ji-yoon asks, trembling, what do we do? Eunho says quickly, we have to move fast. The second mission might be more difficult. Ji-yoon asks in a panic, what? Why? Eunho explains seriously, they clearly said it's restructuring. If that's the plan, they will only want to keep the most valuable people. If I'm right, the competition will be even more fierce than the first mission. Ji-yoon is worried. Then what? Eunho looks at the others on the rooftop. There might even be fights between people. Ji-yoon stammers, this. Eunho deduces, of course there has to be fights. Especially if you saw with your own eyes how those people were deleted and disappeared. If not for that reason, then at least to get the mission reward. He stomps his disabled leg on the ground. A different sensation immediately travels through his leg. He thinks in surprise, it feels lighter already. Even with just 20%, my gait has changed significantly. With that thought, he clenches his lips. Ji-yoon, he calls out. Yes, Ji-yoon responds immediately. Right. Eunho adjusts his clothing and tells Ji-yoon, we have to move too. One way or another. Anyway, it is my fate to be restructured. We don't know what's going to happen. But what if I can change my fate? This idiotic restructuring? After throwing his employee ID card away, Eunho says, let's start looking for something we can use as a weapon. At all costs, I will survive.